Alright, hello. I've tried every clicking method in the game. I drag click 50, I butterfly 25, and I jitter 18. Today, we're gonna go through every clicking method and break down each one. And I'll tell you guys the best clicking method that all of you, every single one of you watching, need to go learn right now. Now keep in mind, I've been playing Minecraft since I was like 9 years old, and I've been playing competitively since like 2019. So I've had a lot of time to train these, and I click very quickly in most methods, but that's only due to the practice that I've put into them. I started off having no idea how to do any of them, so all of you can go learn them the same way I did. But huge shout out to all of you with physical limitations in your clicking. I know there are people out there. Teacher is only able to click 8 CPS due to a condition in his hand, and yet he still manages to be one of the best bridge players in the world. So do not be discouraged. First off is drag clicking. There's two main versions of this clicking method. There's short drags and long drags. Short drags give a short burst of very high CPS. Long drags give similarly long bursts of high CPS. If you don't know how drag clicking is done, basically you press your hand against the top of your mouse button and slide your finger down, and the friction between your mouse button and your hand creates a vibration which clicks the mouse very quickly. This is great for a lot of things such as bridging, content, and reducing in game modes where that's necessary. Now this method is very specialized and hard to practice, and I don't really play games where it's too important. Depending on your priorities, I would mostly not recommend this clicking method, but there are people who use drag clicking in their bridge gameplay. First that comes to mind is Adventure. He is an extremely good player and he drag clicks right click, I believe, but I will solidly say I do not recommend this for left click or for PvP. Next up is jitter clicking. Now there are a lot of methods under this umbrella that we're going to go through. First off is wrist jitter, which rather intuitively is jittering with your wrist, meaning that you mostly use the muscles in your hand and your wrist to tense up and get the vibration that clicks your mouse down. It's easy to aim, but you still get that nice jitter shake look. Very controllable CPS. I get around like 11 to 12, but when I practiced it and actually used it a lot, I got about 13, 14. Now any average I give in this video are not scientific or like cold or anything. They're mostly based on just estimates from what I know, but with wrist jitter, I believe most people average around 10 to 12. I rank this one very highly. It's a great balance between being a competitive clicking method and being very fun to play with. Next is arm jittering, which is in my opinion the most fun clicking method to use. This one I've heard a large range of CPSs. I want to say the average arm jitter gets like 11 to 14, that's kind of the usual range. I get about 13 to 15 with it now, but when I practiced jitter, I got more like 14, 16, and I've peaked at 18 in the past. This is an extremely tactile and entertaining clicking method to play with. It's my second favorite out of all methods, even though it's, in my opinion, one of, if not the most difficult to aim with. Lots of shaking, it's hard to stabilize, but you can. There are people who are very, very good at it, and I do recommend this method, or at least trying it and learning it just for the fun aspect. It's so entertaining and you feel like a fucking god. It's so fun. I highly recommend. Next is finger jittering, a good method I used for years before I learned any other method. I get about 10 to 12 CPS with this method, and I believe most people usually get something similar. Here the line between jitter clicking and normal clicking kind of blur because you're using pretty much the same muscle to jitter click and normal click. An easy way to test whether you are finger jittering or normal clicking is to grab your mouse and start clicking left click with your preferred method. Use your other hand and feel the space between your thumb and your clicking finger. If that space is tensed completely, then you're jitter clicking. And if you can feel that muscle like contracting and extending repeatedly, then you're normal clicking. And speaking of normal clicking, the most popular clicking method of them all, because some people don't even know other ones exist, this is the lowest CPS, and it's up there with the most controllable, very simple, very easy method to click with. I get about 8 to 10 with this method, and I believe the average person gets maybe 6 to 8. It's funny, I used to one finger jitter for a really, really long time, but I didn't know the difference between normal clicking and jittering, so I just said I normal clicked. So people were like, how do you normal click 11 to 12? And it's like, At the time, I could normal click very fast, and I still can, but technically I couldn't normal click that fast. I could only one finger jitter. But they're practically the same thing. I mean, realistically, like if somebody who's not too into the community asks you what clicking method you use, just say normal click. You're using the same muscles. It's the same thing. And now finally, we are to butterfly clicking. There are two categories of this. There's butterflying with and butterflying without double clicks. Butterflying with double clicks is the fastest clicking method that people can do consistently, meaning that you can drag click in bursts, right? But there's a time where you have to lift your finger and put it back. With butterflying, you can double click and butterfly, click, 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 very quickly, very consistently. And there are a lot of people who can very consistently get 20 plus CPS for as long as they want to with this clicking method. It's one of the easiest to aim with. The CPS is so high. There's a reason why the Model O is one of, if not the most well-known Minecraft clicking mouse. But for specifically block placements, it is difficult to get an exact amount of blocks placed. With that, I lead into the best clicking method in all of Minecraft, and that is butterflying without double clicks. I recommend this method to everyone who plays the game, whether you play Bridge, Bed Wars, Sky Wars, or literally survival Minecraft, it does not matter. I click about 14 with this, but I've peaked at 18, and I've even heard of people getting up to 19 with this clicking method. From what I've seen, it's extremely underrated CPS-wise, because people without practicing struggle and usually get about like 10 to 12, but it is very easy to pick up aiming with this method, and the speed and consistency in the CPS is definitely remedied with practice. Going for quick bursts of CPS, for example clicking twice, then 3 times, then 4 times, and so on, can give you an unreal amount of control and speed over your clicks. This clicking method is extremely consistent and controllable both in aim and CPS, a type of control and speed you simply cannot get anywhere else. It is worth mentioning that there are people who can control double clicking with butterfly to an extremely precise amount. For example, they click once and then double click once, giving 3 clicks. This can be done extremely fast, faster than without double clicks, but the intuitiveness and ease of practice in butterflying without double clicks makes up for it by miles, in my opinion. Now, this video is based purely on a gameplay perspective, and if you guys want a breakdown of the health side of clicking for long periods of time, check out this video by Intel Edits. That's either on the screen, if it lets me link someone else's video, or in the description, it'll be the first link down there. But yeah, anyway guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like if you like, subscribe if you really liked, hit the bell that's down there somewhere, I'm not really sure, and I'll see you guys next time.